Hello everybody, welcome back to my YouTube channel. My name is Anjali and in today's video, I'm going to answer this question of yours. The question is that I can understand English, but God knows what happened to me when it comes to speak in English. I'm unable to speak in English. So here in this video, I'm going to answer this question of yours. First, let's understand the first sentence. That is, I can understand English. I just want to tell you one more thing. Just watch this video till the end so that you are not going to miss anything. So the first sentence is that I can understand English. Why we all are very comfortable to understand English. For example, I'm from English medium school. I've been studying in an English medium school since childhood. So most of the time, I used to surround myself with English. I used to read books. I used to learn a lot of things in English. And my teachers, they used to teach me in English. And it was our compulsion to speak in English, but we didn't try to speak in English. And that's why it was so difficult for us to speak in English. And we used to learn a lot of things in English. But one thing that was when it comes to speak in English, I'm unable to speak in English just because since childhood we haven't been practicing speaking English. And that was the problem. Though we are understanding everything in English, we are learning chapters in English and we are understanding everything in English. Our teachers, they used to teach us subjects, they used to teach us lessons in English, but when it comes to speak in English, we didn't try to speak in English. And in my case, what usually happened, some of my friends, maybe some intelligent girls, they used to speak in English, but I didn't, because I had no idea how to speak in English. Though I can understand everything, but I could understand everything, but when it comes to speak in English, I always try to be silent. I feel like being silent is going to make me safe not to speak in English. So I used to do that. I used to make myself to be silent. And that was the reason. That's why we are not capable to speak in English. Because you can never ever imagine yourself to speak in English fluently without practicing speaking English. So you just need to be focused over this, that without practicing speaking English, you will never ever imagine yourself becoming fluent in English. So you just need to be very focused over it. And that was the reason. That's why I was able to understand everything in English. But when it comes to speak in English, I used to struggle because I didn't try to speak in English. I used to learn a lot of things in English. I used to understand every lessons of my subjects in English, but I didn't try to speak in English, and which was the biggest reason. That's why I was not capable to speak in English. And that's why the same situation you are facing, you can understand, because you maybe most of you are from English medium school and you are understand everything in English because since childhood you have been learning things in English, and that's why you are very comfortable to speak in English. You are very comfortable to understand English. But when it comes to speak in English, because you didn't try to speak in English, that's why right now you are incapable to speak in English. That is the biggest reason. We are unable to speak in English. And how to sort out this problem of yours? So in this video, I'm just going to make you to get rid of this problem, and I'm going to make you how to understand English and how to speak in English. So without wasting any further time of yours, let's get into this video. And one more thing that I want to ask for you, that please watch the video till the end so that you are not going to miss anything, whatever I'm going to tell you in this video. So I just want to tell you right now, you have this question that I understand English, but I'm unable to speak in English. What's the problem? Right now, we are capable to understand English. We can understand every single thing. What is the another person is speaking to us? We understand everything. But when it comes to speak, we usually find difficulties. And when it comes to speak, I just want to move to the first point. That is, tell me one thing, if you are not going to practice speaking English, will you imagine yourself becoming fluent in English? Absolutely not. You will not imagine yourself becoming fluent in English. Right now, I'm creating this video. did you ever did you ever imagine in your life that if a person is not going to practice, how that person is going to speak in English? If I didn't practice earlier, what do you think, that will I be capable to speak in English? No, I'm not. And that is the thing that I want to make you understand. Without speaking in English, we are not capable to speak in English. And when it comes to understand English, because since childhood we have been studying in English medium school, and that's why we are familiar to understand everything in English. And when it comes to speak in English, because since childhood we didn't try to speak in English, and that's why you are not capable to speak in English. And you cannot speak in English without doing speaking practice. The first and the foremost thing that you need to consider in order to improve your English, that is, you just need to try to speak in English. That is the primary thing that you need to focus on, because without speaking won't happen. You just need to speak in English, and then you will sort out this problem of yours, that when it comes to speak in English, I struggle. Because you struggle just because you didn't try to speak in English, and that's why you are unable to speak in English. So you just need to focus over that if I'm going to speak in English, then I will be capable to speak in English. Okay, so the first point is that you just need to try to speak in English. Let's move to the second point. The second point is that usually what happens with us, we just need to start whatever we know in English. And what am I trying to say in this video? For instance, I just want to tell you, I used to do this a lot. And I at once I made a blunder. I just want to share this experience of mine. That was that one day I decided that first I'm going to learn all the tenses, and then I'm going to practice it. And it is going to create a lot of problem, because when together collectively you are going to practice all the sentences, you will get perplexed, you will get confused. And I just want to tell you, I made this. I said to myself that first I'm going to learn all the tense, and then I'm going to practice it. Tell me one thing, why don't we practice when we learn only one tense, and we whole day, after learning one particular tense, whole day we are going to practice that specific tense? Wouldn't be that amazing? And I just want to tell you, if today you have learned one specific tense, maybe for example you have learned present indefinite tense, so instead of thinking that you're going to practice that in future, that once you are going to done with all the tense and then you are going to practice all the tenses together, it gonna make you confused, it gonna make you not to do your practice. Yeah, and at the and when it comes to practice all those sentences together, you will find yourself totally confused. So I just want to tell you, make sure that whatever you have practiced, whatever you have learned today, you just need to make sure that that day you just need to practice that specific thing, whatever you have learned today. Make sure that, do not put on that tomorrow I gonna do it. Don't postpone. Okay, make sure that you are going to do it today. And I just want to share with you one quote. It motivated me a lot. It motivated me a lot when it comes to create YouTube videos. I used to make myself that I'm not good at it. And in order to create YouTube videos, I need to be perfect. And one quote, first I'm going to speak that quote in Hindi, and then I'm going to speak it in English. The quote is that हम हमेशा बेहतरीन के चक्कर में बेहतर को खो देते हैं. We always chase perfection. We always try to chase perfection, but we never ever make sure that we are going to become good at it. And the same thing you need to do. You don't need to become perfect at something. Perfection will come automatically once you're going to do it. It will come automatically. First you need to focus over your work and make sure that you are going to put your 100% towards it, so that you will get perfection afterwards. Not yet, because perfection won't come very easily. It takes a lot of time, and that was my motivation, and I made it. I felt like, okay, creating YouTube videos doesn't require that I just need to become perfect in English, because nobody is perfect in English. Everybody makes mistake, and I accept this fact, and I felt like, okay, I'm good at English, I'm not perfect and I'm not amazing over this language, but I always try to be good. I always try to be good over this language, and that was my motivation. And I just want to tell you in this video, the second point is that you just need to start your speaking journey whatever you know in English. That is mandatory, and you need to focus over that. You need to be very focused over it. Okay, you just start your speaking journey whatever you know English, whatever basic you know, just start with it. Whatever you know in English, small sentences, imperative sentences, whatever you know, you just start your speaking journey with that. Okay, don't find any kind of difficulties in it. And talking about the third thing, that is, we are not that much courageous enough to speak in English with others. We usually find a lot of difficulties. We usually find a lot of difficulties to approach a person, how to communicate with that person in English. We have all these doubts. What if the another person is going to mock at me? What if the another person is going to make fun out of me? What am I going to do? How am I going to approach that person? And how the another person is going to behave with me? We have several doubts, but I just want to tell you, let them speak whatever they want to speak. Your work is that you just need to, you know that that person knows English. So go with positive impact, go with positive mindset that I just want to communicate with that person. That's it. That is going to be your first intention towards going towards approaching a person. And you just need to make sure that I'm just going to have a conversation with that person. Don't think about anything. Whatever you think, you will become like that. If you think like, okay, the person is going to mock at me, the person is going to laugh at me, so something is going to happen like that. But when you have this positive mindset that I just need to be courageous enough to handle that situation, I'm just going to talk to that person very easily. Whatever I know in English, I'm not saying that I'm perfect, but I'm good at it and I can handle that person very easily. I'm very curious to just communicate with that person, and my curiosity is making me to talk to that person. That's it. And that is the thing that you need to do before approaching a person. Say to yourself, I'm good at English. And say to yourself, I'm courageous enough to handle the situation. Because most of the time, you always try to do this. Most of the time, whenever you get the opportunity to speak in English, you always flee. You always flee away from that situation. You always try to flee from that specific situation that makes you to speak in English, that makes you to have a conversation with the another person. And what you always do, you just flee away from that situation. And you don't need to do that. If you are going to get scared, if you get scared having a conversation with a person, it always makes you not to speak in English. It never ever gonna make you to become confident over speaking this language. So you just need to make sure that you are going to approach a person and with positive mindset, that I can handle this conversation, and I will try my level best. I will try my level best. I'm just going to communicate with that person. Whatever the another person is going to speak to me, I'm going to answer that. You don't need to be fluent at that time. Don't think like that, I just want to be very fluent in English. No, just use simple English. The way I'm creating this video, I feel like most of the time, every time I'm just speaking simple English, and you just need to make sure that you are going to speak in simple English. What's the difficulties in it? Make sure that just you are going to speak in simple English, and just confidently you are going to approach that person. And don't think about what the another person is going to say to you. If the another person is mock at you, laugh at you, let it be. That's their thinking. Right now they just mock at you. But once you will become fluent in English, once you will become confident enough to talk to them in English, they will appreciate you. You just mind my words, mark my words, they will definitely gonna appreciate you the way you are going to speak in English. And the same thing I have experienced in my life. You earlier, people used to say this to me, why are you wasting your time over this language? And right now, I'm not saying that I'm good at it, I'm not saying that I'm fluent over this, I'm fluent in English, but I'm just saying that I can speak in English. Whatever is in my mind, I can express that thing in English, and that matters me a lot. That's it. So when it comes to speak in English, usually you say that I'm unable to speak in English. So you just need to make sure that you are going to work over these factors, over these aspects that I've shared with you in this video. Once you start working over it, you will start speaking in English. So you just need to be very focused over all these aspects that I have shared with you in this video. And once you start working over it, once you start implementing all these things that I have shared with you in this video, if you're going to do that, it will definitely improve your English and it will make you to speak in English. Okay, so this is it for today. I hope you all found this video very informative. If you did, please give it a thumbs up and subscribe to my channel if you haven't yet, and share this video with your friends and family members so that they will also try to speak in English instead of thinking why I'm incapable, why I'm unable to speak in English. So this is it for today. Radhe Radhe to you all, and I'll see you soon in the next video.